Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Sports Radio, 859-280-2287. Now joined on the phone by ESPN's Jay Williams, former Duke basketball player, which is really his most negative quality, but otherwise good. Jay, how are you?
What's up, MJ? I saw I caught some random strays the other day.
Well, you're just throwing curse bombs on Twitter. What was that about?
No, it was just an F with a whole bunch of stars. Nobody cursed.
Okay, well, I guess what, fart? Is that what we were saying? All right, so Jay, I think the easiest way to start this is I want to play the clip that's kind of in question, and then I just want you to say what you meant or what you think, how we should have interpreted what you said. Okay, so here's the clip. Okay. We'll play right here. This is what you said, I think, Saturday on the College Game Day.
Consistent. I mean, the last 3 games they've led by 9 points or more at half in the first half. You know, look, this is Arkansas. Like, and all the things that you said and Jay Bilas said are correct. They have to get tougher, learn how to close out games defensively. They have to be better. Like, every time you're playing, you're in a national spotlight, and the biggest microphone is Big Blue Nation. Let's keep it a buck. So, like, every time John Calipari fails, he's going to go viral. Everybody on Big Blue Nation is going to say, you see those offensive lapses that they have? You see that lack of toughness? This is what we experienced for our time here at Big Blue Nation in Kentucky. And it makes life difficult. And he's the biggest talking point we're going to have, or one of the biggest talking points in this sport. So, look, John Calipari understands that, Seth. It's the life that comes along with the territory of being Calipari and making that in-conference move and then having that perceived NIL budget. It's what comes along with it. He's going to handle it. I think he's going to be okay. It's just going to be a fight.
You think it's too much for the players?
All right, so there's 2 parts here. First, the part that sort of seems to say that because of us, we're making Calipari's job more difficult. Is that how you meant it or no?
No. I mean, well, first off, you know, MJ, how long have you and I known each other?
Long time.
If I felt that Big Blue Nation was just the only thing making life difficult, I would have just said it. Do you think I am hesitant at all just telling people how I feel, regardless of whether people hate me or not? I honestly don't care. The only opinions that really matter to me are my wife and my kids and my job. You know, that's number one.
So what did you mean then? What did you mean?
I meant exactly what I said. I mean, look, I'm a fan of sports teams. Like, you know, I'm a fan of the New York Giants. You don't think every time I sit there and I see Joe Shane with his kid and his kid's like draft Jaden Daniels and his dad laughs it off, that doesn't hurt me, or I don't feel some type of way about it? That's just the reality of the world that we live in.
If you're a Giants fan, Joe Shane is the GM of the Giants. Cal's not the coach here. What do you mean about the fact that we have a microphone? How does that change Cal's job?
MJ, it doesn't change his job. I mean, first off, but to act like that's not what really happens. Are you claiming that every time Cal does lose, a lot of fans from Big Blue Nation do talk about it on social media?
Of course they do. Yes, of course they do. But what does that have to do with him losing? Like, the conversation was, why is he not being successful? What do we have to do with that?
Well, I didn't say that you guys have anything to do with that. I think you're being overly sensitive towards it. And first off, I know you don't speak for everybody in Blue Nation. I knew Big Blue Nation is a whole bunch of people. It's not monolithic. My point was, and what I said precisely, was that every time he loses, people in Big Blue Nation let him hear about it. That's a really big thing. When Mick Cronin loses, other than when he goes viral, does anybody talk about it? No.
Okay, but I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you. We do talk about it. We do talk about it. But so what? So what? What does that have to do with how he's performing?
It has nothing to do with how he's performing. It's just a reality of the world that we live in, right? It's like, if you guys are the most powerful fan base there is in the country.
Oh, thank
you. Do you confirm that thought?
Oh, yes. I certainly online, but probably in general.
Okay. So within college sports, within college basketball, I will say that. So
no, they're in college. It's in college basketball. There are some football ones that are like that too, but college basketball, yes,
of course. So when Big Blue Nation is passionate about something, are you stating that you undermine the passion of?
I'm not undermining, but again, the conversation that conversation you all were having was about why this year has gone bad for Cal. I just don't know what that has to do with us.
Yeah, but see, this is what happens when you play a clip. Did you hear what Jay Bilas said? Did you hear? Like they gave all reasons on
Uh-huh.
why Cal was having a bad year. And then what I did is I said, JB and Andrea, you guys are correct. Here's also another point that is really real about it. I don't understand why that feels like Big Blue Nation is being attacked because you guys
Well,
are
I don't
powerful
think
and
you
you
were
guys have a
attacking.
loud
Here's what
voice.
I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
I know,
Here's
but
what
like
I think.
when
What
I
I
jumped
think
on
is
the internet
this.
the other day, hold on, MJ. When I jumped on the internet the other day and I hear you talk, I was part of like I am a Cal apologist and I'm
No,
attacking
I
Big
don't
Blue
believe you're a
Nation.
Cal apologist totally. I think Seth is, and I've told him that. Here, but let's go to the second part of that clip we played. You said Cal will take care of it, I'm sure. Let me give you a second clip. This is what you said on ESPN on First Take. When people after Kentucky lost to Oakland, before Cal had left for Arkansas, here were your comments about the Kentucky fans and the job. Go ahead.
I just want to say it out loud and very slowly so we can let it all just marinate. John Calipari, the second all-time winningest coach in Kentucky basketball history, has left Kentucky basketball for Arkansas. That's all I'm saying here. Yes, no, it's not, like, so everybody's gonna say, well, you know, this is a great move. Who y'all gonna replace him with?
Okay, so somebody added all that stuff. But who are you all going to replace him with? Do you now think, clearly you thought we'd get worse, Arkansas would get better. Do you now think maybe that was incorrect?
Yeah, but Matt, I'm okay with being wrong. Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
know
so you do think you were wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I talk on TV for 4 hours a day. We get it wrong. We're all humans. I didn't know who Arkansas at the time. I didn't know who Big Blue Nation was going to replace John Calipari with. Mark Pope has been an incredible replacement. He's exceeded expectations in his first year. So yeah, I openly admit I didn't know who they were going to replace him with.
So
And
here's
it
where
looked like,
here's where UK fans get upset, Jay. Here's where they get upset, and it's not just at you. I actually
speak
don't.
for all UK fans.
No, but I think I speak for a group of them, and a lot of people listening would agree. Not all, but a lot.
Okay.
Here's
Okay,
what I
all right.
think makes a lot of our fan base mad. The national media. That's an example with that clip of you. Seth has many, but there are many others I could give you of people who've said this. They always act like Kentucky fans are the problem. We ran Cal off. That somehow if we don't have Cal, or if we didn't have Rick, or if we didn't have Tubby, name the coach, that this program is going to go in the toilet. And we get lectured about it all the time, about our expectations, about how we need to be reasonable. When our expectations are part of why it's Kentucky, and I think our fan base does not like, at least a lot of them, do not like national media members lecturing us on what we should expect and then being wrong in the end.
Matt, you know, one thing I'm going to say that your show is really good at is that you guys take sound bites of things and that turns into larger narratives. So what I will say, and you are right in your assessment. Just let me confirm this. You are right in your assessment. But I also would challenge you on the things that people have said, including myself, that have gone against the grain on Calipari. Those things never get amplified on your show.
Like what?
Like I've said multiple times during his run, they're like, yo, you got to win championships. That's what Big Blue Nation expects. You're not winning championships, the age of one and done. Like we've had conversations on national TV about, yo, all these one and dones, like that's not working. Yeah, this year may have felt to be a little bit older. Like I said it actually on that clip before you played that when Seth cut me off because Seth was talking about, you know, Cal, that line when Seth was like, well, you know, Cal hasn't forgotten how to coach. I literally said, well, you're talking about in-game adjustments, Seth.
Yeah, no, you did say that. I heard you say that, and I heard you say that. I didn't cut the clip, just so you know. So that's why.
No, I hear you. Well, we're boys. We're talking. But I do feel like, from a national media perspective, all of a sudden, like everything just gets clipped as if this is what the national
but you
media
did
says.
say, Jay, I get it, but you did say, and you said it not just that time. There's a couple other times you went on shows. I didn't want to play all of them, but you did sort of take the view of,
I don't know
if Kentucky gets rid of Cal. If Kentucky gets rid of Cal, they will be worse off. And that's
no, Matt, I challenge you. Find a clip where I say they will be worse off.
Okay,
this is where we're really good at media.
All right, maybe there.
Really
okay, so you thought. So when you say who are you going to get?
Matt,
okay, but Jay,
Matt, this is your show. Matt, you talk for 4 hours. Let me come on your show and be a guest, brother.
We're on the same page.
But
I would never work 4 hours. Yeah, go ahead.
That's really smart. I did never on any show come off and say they will be worse. My question exactly was, who would they replace him with? Now, I asked the question. I was wrong. But this is the type of stuff I'm talking about, Matt. Like, that's called sensationalism, and you're good at it. I never said they were going to be worse off. I never put down BBN Nation in that degree at
Fair
all,
enough.
Ever.
If you didn't think they were going to be worse, then I trust you. I'm not saying you didn't. I feel like I saw a clip where you said that, but I could be wrong. But you did say who are you going to price them, and you leaned into the camera kind of like, come on now, who are you all going to get? Would you agree that Calipari in the last 5 years at Kentucky, and then, of course, this year, that there has been a steady and precipitous decline?
Factual, yes, I would agree. And
why do you think that's happened?
I think, well, first off, I think the challenge with the AD calling the bluff is a real thing at Kentucky. I think that...
But it's not the AD's fault. It's not the AD's fault. But what do you mean it's the AD's challenge?
But Matt, you are really good at chiming in over the top of something and then reclaiming what I said. That's not what I said. I said that the AD called his bluff, and I thought it was the right thing. Like I never said that it was the AD's fault. So I'm seeing a pattern here of you doing that multiple times, and I don't know if it's to try to put me in a corner to react. But that's not what I'm saying.
But when I ask you why is it a precipitous decline, the first answer is the AD. Why is it Cal? What responsibility does John Calipari have?
He has all the responsibility, 100% of it. It's John Calipari. Like, I'm not living in the world of making excuses. I'm not making excuses for Cal. I mean, that comes along with the territory of being John Calipari and missing the boat sometimes with the way things, rhythms and, rotations and how they're established. Like, I'm not calling in to butcher John Calipari. He is no longer the head coach of Kentucky basketball. He has his own problems at Arkansas. He made that decision. That's on him. I think Kentucky has gotten better. I think Mark Pope brings in a new energy. I think what he's done with all these transfer and the transfer portal, he's gotten these guys to buy in, which is significantly difficult to do in today's age. And I'm giving all the praise and credit to Kentucky basketball for it. They deserve it.
Okay. Do you, and I believe that, and let me just say, I think in general, you are one of the better announcers towards the Big Blue Nation. I actually get, for someone who didn't go here, I actually give you credit for that. But can you see how Kentucky fans would feel like? I'm of the belief that the college basketball announcing community is loath to criticize coaches. Even you right there said, I'm not here to bury on Calipari. I don't see that in other sports. You guys protect coaches, but you will not. You personally.
Once I just want to clarify again, Matt, and you can finish your point. This is not a monolithic thing. Like, it's not you guys.
Okay.
So
well, you said at the end of your comments.
Well,
you should.
Seen me go after Mick Cronin. I've gone after Rick Pitino. I've gone after other coaches.
So why won't you say that Cal has? Why don't you? I don't say go after because that makes it sound like it's personal. But why won't these guys, you included, say, John Calipari is not the same coach he was in 2019, and not end the sentence with, but he will turn it around? What evidence do we have of that?
There's no evidence that he won't either. Is that fair?
Well, 6 straight years. What do you mean? 6 straight years of winning one NCAA tournament game.
Okay. I mean, but like, once again, like, I've gone on national TV, and like, do you want me to say that I think Cal has lost it? I'm going to wait to see how this year pans out. And if this year pans out in this first year, then I would have to be critical. I mean, I did not come into the season expecting Arkansas to be at the bottom of the SEC, even though it's the best conference in the nation at all. I think what we're seeing right now from Arkansas is not at the level Arkansas basketball needs to be at. Flat, period. Like, nobody's making excuses about that. It's been bad. It's been horrifically bad thus far in SEC.
Do you, and I'll finish with this because you have been very nice to come on here, and I do, Jay, I don't want you to think I'm not trying to
MJ, you and I are boys. We're just in
we
little
are.
bit of an intellectual spar right now. This is great. I love it.
I do too, and which is why I like you that you will do this. Agree or disagree with this statement? Cal has friends in the media, and thus they and by the way, so do a lot of coaches. That they are thus, whereas like Mick Cronin is not friends with the media, so it's easier to attack him. Because Cal is friends with a lot of these guys, they have been overlooking and protecting consistent problems for a long period of time and not calling it out. And thus, when people do, they are then painted as being unreasonable. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Can we just, well, I disagree with that.
Okay.
But can we call it, you are referring to Seth.
No, it's not just Seth. It's not just Seth, although he's
Then let me know who else are you referring to.
Well, I mean, honestly, Jay, respectfully, I would also say you, because you said
you just said that I've been. You just
I say you
said 5 minutes ago that I have been pro BBN out of most.
You are pro BBN, but you also will. You also though. When you said, and I'll leave, I'll leave it at this. When you looked into the camera, when you looked into the camera on First Take, when you looked into the camera on First Take and said, who are you going to get? You know what that was. You know what you meant by that.
Okay, so let's just talk about my character for a second, because that seems to be in question with you and me being critical on coaches. Do you think Matt? Let's be honest about when I go to Big Blue Nation, if I get booed, do you think I care?
No, I think you love it because it's good for your brand.
No, wait. If I get cheered, do I care? Either way,
I think you like. Everybody likes to get cheered.
Yeah, but I played against Kentucky before. I've been booed.
You were good in that game too. You were way too good. It makes me mad how good you were in that game.
Keith Bogans is my boy. That goes way back for us.
That was the Rashad Caruth game where he barked at you all.
I wanted to. Yeah, now you're bringing me back. I don't want to bring out that, Jay. But so when Grayson, and I'm only going to give this example because I say how I feel. And for some reason on this show with you right now, you are interpreting my years of work, even though you haven't heard all the things I've said, because we have 2 clips that I don't say anything critical of Tal. I don't use the word attack. You can be critical, right? I criticize my own coach, Coach K, with Grayson Allen. I was not allowed to go to practices at Duke. I think if anything holds warrant to my character and how fair and objective I am to certain things, and I'm not saying that your comment isn't right. A lot of coaches have friends. Cal has a lot of friends. He's very personable. Maybe that has inhibited some people of saying what's really been going on. But if I've been able to criticize my own head coach, a place where my jersey hangs, and I go back to all the time because I have a home in Durham, let's not question my objectivity.
Okay,
now, I might go into things sometimes. I was wrong about who you guys were going to get. I was wrong about that.
Okay, and I appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate you saying that. And ultimately, we all make mistakes. If I had a list of all the things I said that was wrong, we'd be here all day. I just like when people sort of own up to it, and you did, and that's all you can ask. And by the way, you've always been nice to me, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Are you guys going to be in Lexington at all during this?
I mean, we better be in Lexington. I mean, I know what our schedule is.
I don't know if Seth will get the greatest reception when you come, just for the record.
By the way, if he doesn't, then I'm going to have the camera on, and it's going to be in live camera action, because you need to come on the show then.
I'd listen. I'd love to come on. I'd love to come on. Hey, Jay, thank you very much for taking the time and doing this and coming in. I hope you're doing well.